Hey guys, Justin here with a garage sale pickups video, and I know a lot of you probably saw the picture on our Facebook, just that absolutely massive motherload Super Nintendo haul that we ended up getting from a garage sale. 90 boxed Super Nintendo games, a couple of which are just absolutely amazing finds. If you guys haven't seen the picture yet and want to check it out, go ahead and click the link to our Facebook that will be in the description of this video. Scroll down the page a little bit, you can't miss it. Absolutely amazing. And as you can imagine, I've been very excited to get a video of that haul filmed and uploaded so you guys can see exactly what we got. But at the same time, I didn't want to just gloss over everything else that we found that day, because we actually did get quite a bit of other stuff. And that's actually what I'm going to be showing in this video. I'm going to film the Super Nintendo haul as a separate video, mainly for time's sake, but also because I definitely think that haul deserves its own video. So keep an eye out. That Super Nintendo haul will be the next video we upload, but in the meantime, here's everything else that we got on that same Friday. And the day started out pretty promising, actually. Dave and I got up, we drove over to our first sale, and we were like the first people there, and we noticed that they had a PlayStation 2 Slim system and game bundle, and an original Xbox system and game bundle, and a couple other miscellaneous games. And you know, the systems had controllers, the adapters and stuff, and they each had a stack of games. Unfortunately though, I think all but one of the games were sports games. I think Time Splitters 2 for the PS2 was the only game that wasn't a sports game. But we figured the systems might be worth it anyway, so we asked how much they were looking to get, and they were like, oh yeah, we didn't know what to price those at, and they're like, well, how does $75 a piece sound? And we were like, ugh. Sorry, we're going to have to pass on that. And then they were like, okay, well, if you get them both, how about $50 a piece? So $100 for both of them. And we were just like, ugh, sorry, like, can't afford that, you know, because, you know, the PS2 Slim bundle might have been worth $50, might have been. The original Xbox bundle definitely wasn't. And so they were just like, all right, well, what were you thinking you wanted to pay for them? And I gave them my best shot, even though I knew they weren't going to take it. I said, you know, I'd give you $20 for the Xbox bundle and $25 for the PS2 bundle. They obviously passed on that. They were looking to get more. Who knows if they did or not. But we did actually end up picking up a few things from this sale. I got a few miscellaneous games here. A couple GameCube games, actually. Pac-Man World 3, which is complete inside of here. Also got Mario Party 5, which is also complete. And then finally a PlayStation 1 game, actually, Army Men Sarge's Heroes, the first one. I did not have this game yet. So I you know, after passing on the systems, I asked how much they wanted for just these three games here. And the lady originally told me $10, and I was just like, I mean, $10 would have been an okay deal, just mainly because of Mario Party 5. But I was just like, and she went down to $7, and I was, you know, probably going to pay her the $7, but before I could even reach in my pocket, get my wallet, my money, she went down to $5. So that was definitely a good deal, $5 for all three of those. And so I was happy with that. Kind of disappointed we didn't get the systems, but you know, whatever. So from there, we drove over to another sale that we didn't think was going to be open yet. We were like 45 minutes early. It was like 8:15. It was supposed to start at 9. But we wanted to drive by because it said that online that they were going to be selling a Nintendo DS and games. But when we got there, we were surprised to see that they were actually open. They were still kind of setting up a little bit, but there was, you know, one or two other people there. So we walked up there, looked around, didn't see any DS or anything, and eventually just asked, and they said, oh, you know, we haven't brought it out yet. So I asked what they had, and she was telling me that she had, the lady was telling me she had a DS Lite, a black DS Lite, with a stack of games and, you know, some accessories, charger and stuff. And she said she was looking to get between $50 and $75 for it. So obviously I wasn't going to offer any more than $50 if, you know, obviously she would have taken that. So I said, you know, can I take a look at it? And she brought just the system out to me. And it was a black DS Lite, you know, it worked and everything. And I was like, okay, well, you know, I'll give you $50 if you have the games and stuff with it. And she said that she hadn't dug those out yet. She's like, oh, they're in a box in the house somewhere. And she's like, if you want to come back at noon, I can hold the system for you and all the games, and I'll find them, and you can buy it at around noon. And I was just like, all right. I mean, why would you advertise something in your garage sale and then not have it ready when you opened? But whatever. Wasn't too concerned about it at the time. It was like, if I got it, cool. If I didn't, whatever. So we're like, all right, well, we'll come back at noon or something. So From there, we raced over to our next garage sale. Really excited to go to this one. Online, they were advertising a Wii and games bundle, and they said they had a bunch of other video games. So it took us forever to find this garage sale. It was like off a dirt road, which was off of like an old highway. So we turned down this dirt road, and we find the sale, and you know, it said no early sale, so we didn't want to be, you know, that guy who shows up too early. So we're like, okay, we'll just, you know, we'll park up the street, we'll wait, you know, 15 minutes, and we'll drive down there. So we park up the street, we're sitting in Dave's car, we're listening to music. I had my computer out, my laptop, I was plugged into Dave's car, my battery's charging. So we wait like 15 minutes, it's like 8:55, sale's starting at 9. We're like, alright, let's drive down, park in this guy's driveway. So Dave goes to turn the car on, and nothing. Between, you know, listening to music and having my computer plugged in, it completely killed Dave's battery in his car, and we were essentially screwed. You know, dead battery on a dirt road. So we're like, okay, what do we do? We're like, all right, let's go down to this garage sale. Let's buy some video games. We'll ask the people there if they can give us a jump. So walk down there. Looking around, don't see any video games at first. It was actually a lot of like junk. There was a bunch of like broken guitars and all this crap. And I see this guy take out a box that, you know, had a Wii in it and a bunch of games. And I see him write Wii bundle on the side of the box in a Sharpie. Then he writes $20, and I'm just thinking, 20 bucks Wii bundle, hell yeah. And then he writes another 0, and I was just like, like $200 for a Wii bundle. It gets really old when people think that just because they have the Rock Band drum set and 2 guitars, that their Wii bundle is suddenly worth double what it actually is. Those are definitely some of the most worthless video game accessories. But anyway, I looked through the box anyway, and he actually had some GameCube stuff in there as well mixed in. So I pulled a couple GameCube things out. I said, you know, would you mind selling these separate, seeing as they're GameCube? And I'll show you guys what I pulled out. I got a copy of Super Smash Bros. Melee, or Melee, however you want to pronounce it, which is complete inside of here. And then I found this, which I've never seen before. It is like a third-party accessory, but it's like a controller hub kind of thing. And it's like a 2-player controller extension. It's like 9 feet long, it says. And so it's got 2 controller inputs there, and then, you know, you plug it into first and second player or whatever on the system. And I mean, it's really cool. You can like, you pull it out with this thing here, and you can actually wind it back up with this as well. So it's pretty cool. Never seen anything like this before. I don't even know. Game Elements Gemini, or by Gemini. Never even heard of that company before, so hopefully it works, but that'd be very cool if it worked. You know, GameCube controllers are so short. When playing Smash Bros. Or whatever, I have my my Wii has to be set up in the middle of the room just so the controllers reach to the couch. So I got the AV and the AC cord running across the room, and it's just a mess. So hopefully with this and the Wavebird controller I have, and I have another controller extension, I'll finally be able to put the Wii back over with my other systems. So that was cool to find that. Now he said, just make an offer on these 2. I said $5. He's like, will you make my day and do 7? And I was like, yeah, okay. So $7 for those. Obviously a pretty good deal, especially for this game, and we'll try this out. Definitely needed something like this. So grab that and asked, you know, do you have any other video game stuff? And he was like, oh, well, all my buddies were supposed to bring over a bunch of stuff, and they had like an N64 and all this, and he's like, yeah, I guess they're not awake yet. And I was just like, oh no, like, not that we had anywhere to go anyway with a dead car battery, but I was just like, you know, can I give you my number? And I was like, can you text me or give me a call right away if your buddy shows up with, you know, the video game stuff? And obviously didn't really expect to hear from him. That's usually the case. But we asked if he could give us a jump, if he could jump Dave's car, and he was like, oh, you know, my wife took the vehicle, our only vehicle, to work, so he couldn't help us out. So we walk back up to Dave's car, and our only hope is that, you know, we can flag down a car driving to this same garage sale, and maybe they have jumper cables, because Dave didn't have any, and they can give us a jump. So we were there for like 45 minutes. I know we took a picture of that too, and that's uploaded on the Facebook right before that Super Nintendo haul picture of Dave's hood lifted, and I was just standing around waiting for someone to give us a jump. So like 45 minutes later, some creepy old lady walks up to us with a bag with jumper cables in it, and she had some really creepy old guy with a pickup truck pull up and give us a jump. He did not know how to jump a car, though. He actually put the jumper cables on his car backwards, so when Dave went to connect him to his car, it just shot sparks everywhere. It was a mess, but we finally got it figured out, got the car jumped, And at this point, we were kind of hopeless because we were like, you know, all this other sales that we had planned to go to had already been going on for a half hour, 45 minutes. So we're like, you know, we're never going to find anything now. But we're like, okay, we'll go anyway. Went to a couple more sales. You know, weren't too disappointed. It didn't look like they had ever had anything video game related anyway, so we weren't too disappointed. But we were kind of by the St. Vincent de Paul thrift store, so we stopped in there. Weren't finding anything, but that's when Dave gets the phone call. And let me just start out by saying Dave's mom is very, very cool. She's a very cool lady. And she ends up traveling around on the weekends all around our area for her job and everything, and she's an avid garage sailor and thrift store goer. So she always hooks us up with these sweet deals from garage sales that, you know, we never would have went to because they were too far away from where we live, or these thrift stores that are too far away, and she finds us all the video game stuff and she buys it for us, and she's just awesome. So she gives Dave a call. And she said that she's 15 minutes away from where we were. She's in the next town over, and she said she went to like a kind of like a yard sale, estate sale kind of thing, and she thinks she hit the mother lode. And you know, Dave asked, you know, what did you find? And she said, how much are Super Nintendo games worth? And Dave was like, oh, you know, obviously it depends on the game. And she's like, oh, well, I just found 3 crates full of Super Nintendo games in the boxes, and they're all $1 a piece. And Dave was just like, buy them all right now. And his mom bought them all for us. Like I said, 90 box Super Nintendo games, along with a few loose cart games. And she bought them all for us. And we didn't know what to think. Like we thought she was kidding at first, but we're like, why would she, you know, why would she joke about that? So we're just excited. And then Dave's mom she says, you know, there's a bunch more video game stuff up here. You guys should come up here and check it out. So we were in Dave's car so fast, driving up there. Like I said, it was like a 15-minute drive from where we were. And when we got up there, the lady running the sale was like, she kind of knew who we were. Not really. Dave's mom had mentioned that, you know, I'm sending my kid and his friend up to check out your other video game stuff. So we got up there and she kind of greeted us, and the main reason Dave's mom told us to go back up there is because she saw a Game Boy Advance and some games for 20 bucks. And we did in fact get the Game Boy Advance. It's a Glacier Game Boy Advance here, original. It's in okay shape. The screen's got a few scratches on it, but it does have the battery cover. I did test it and it does work. And then that came with a bag full of games here. So I'll show these quickly. We got Monsters Inc., Mortal Kombat Deadly Alliance, Tomb Raider, The Prophecy, Tetris Worlds, WarioWare Inc., Aggressive Inline, E.T. the Extraterrestrial, Frogger's Adventures 2, The Lost Wand, Sonic Advance, and finally Sonic Pinball Party. So that whole lot there for 20 bucks. It was a decent deal anyway. So I had that in my hand, and I turn around, and Dave is looking through this huge bin of PS1 and PS2 games. And so I race over there and ended up getting myself a couple huge stacks of PS1 games, most of which are just in mint condition. A couple of them are missing pages in the manuals, but other than that, they're all, you know, complete black label, mint condition. So I'll go ahead and show what we got here. Mass Destruction, Burning Road, we got Turboprop Racing, which I mean, it's the original artwork anyway. The case isn't original though, because it's not the clear spine there. But I'll just switch out the case, and it'll be complete. And we got Hooters Road Trip, which is actually still factory sealed, as it should be. Warpath Jurassic Park, which I come to find out is actually a pretty valuable game. Well, like 20 bucks anyway, but for a Jurassic Park game, I think that's pretty good. Gex 3 Deep Cover Gecko, Rascal, Tempest X3, Broken Sword, The Shadow of the Templars, Starfighter, Shadow Master, Star Wars Masters of Terras Kasi. I'm not a huge Star Wars guy, so sorry if I mispronounced that. You'll have to forgive me. And this one looks pretty legit. The Grandstream Saga. It looks like an RPG. I don't know if it's more of an adventure game or not, but it looks pretty legit to me. We got Wing Commander 3, Heart of the Tiger. Street Racer. And this one is Pandemonium. It does have the manual in there, but it's just got this these like cheat codes or something that they stuck in front of the manual. Treasures of the Deep, which I also found out I think is a pretty hard game to find. Robotron X, MDK, Shadow Madness, a sealed copy of Xena Warrior Princess, factory sealed there, Blasto, and finally for the PS1 we got Wild 9. So a lot of quality PS1 titles there. No like huge names or anything, but definitely not common titles by any means. And like I said, for the most part, they're all, you know, mint condition. So I was very happy to see those. I did leave a few PS1 games there. They had a couple that weren't complete, a couple greatest hits games, but I was very happy with those two stacks there. And I also grabbed a small stack of PS2 games. Now, I really wish I knew more about PlayStation 2 games. Just because I see them all the time at garage sales, and for the most part I know which ones to pick up and which ones to leave there. But when I see games like this that I've never even heard of before, I kind of just have to take a shot in the dark and say, you know, do I want to spend money on these if I don't know if they're going to be worth it. But I think I picked you know, 5 pretty good games here anyway. This one just because it looked like an RPG. I think it's Ephemeral Fantasia. You know, I know nothing about this game, but I mean, it looks like an RPG to me, so I definitely grabbed that one. Portal Runner, Eternal Ring, Dragon Rage, and Fantavision. And again, those are all complete mint condition as well. I did leave some PS2 games there. I think they might have had actually a couple sports PS2 games, and a few other ones that I just didn't think were worth picking up. I hope I didn't, you know, leave anything too valuable behind anyway, but grab those there. Now, they were actually selling the PS1 and PS2 games for $2 a piece. So, you know, for games that I don't have for the PS1, I'm definitely willing to pay $2, especially for, you know, quality titles like that in that condition. I had no problem with that. The PS2 games, you know, I picked which ones I thought were worth the $2, and again, I hope I didn't leave anything valuable behind. But also, they had a big box of like strategy guides and stuff, and they had some like comic books and stuff in there as well. But I picked out all the strategy guides they had, and they were originally marked for $1 a piece, actually $2 a piece, and the lady gave them to us for 50 cents a piece. So I could not turn that down. We got Star Wars Episode 1, The Phantom Menace, which I believe I already have, and this one covers the PlayStation and PC versions. I do already have that one. Tomb Raider 2, Siphon Filter. Okay, now there's a couple in here that make me think that when this lady's kids sorted through these games and decided which games they wanted to keep and which ones they wanted to sell in their garage sale, I think they kept all the RPGs, or at least most of them, because I got a couple guides in here, like this one, Alundra, which I believe is a PS1 RPG. So, I mean, they had the guide for it. I'm assuming they had the game for it, at least at one point. Same with this one, Legend of Legaia. I mean, the guide's really sweet. It would have been really cool to get the game, especially for $2, but the guide's still cool anyway. Wild Arms, which I think might be more of like an adventure game than an RPG, but I have Wild Arms 2. I don't have the first one yet, but this is still a really cool looking guide. Star Ocean, The Second Story, a really thick strategy guide here. Again, I did not get this game, so... also, I did get these two games. We got the Grandstream Saga, which again looks pretty legit, and Wild 9. And then I saw this one in there. It's the guide for Breath of Fire. And now, you know, keep in mind that Dave's mom had just previously been at the sale and bought 90 boxed Super Nintendo games, and then I get the guide for Breath of Fire. I was like, alright, this could be really good. But again, you know, a lot of RPG guides, and I didn't get many RPGs, at least for the PlayStation 1 and PS2. So, I'm assuming they kept them all. The the funniest part about the whole thing was, though, this lady was telling us that, you know, I guess both of her kids now, she has a son and a daughter, I think, and they're both video game programmers now. So I guess they just had this really rich grandfather or something that recently passed away, and I guess for every occasion he just bought them, you know, a video game. And I'm assuming they must have been pretty big gamers. But yeah, every occasion just bought them a new game, and I'm sure they played a lot of these and a lot of those Super Nintendo games once, and, you know, put them back in the case or the box and never touched them again. So they had a lot of video games. Anyway, so the guides, the PS2 games, PS1 games, and this Game Boy lot came out to a total of like $84. The lady said, you know, just give her 80 bucks and we'll call it good. So very, very happy that we went back up there after Dave's mom had bought all the Super Nintendo games, because we would have missed out on a lot of cool stuff. So once again, thank you so much to Dave's mom. And I'm going to be thanking her a lot more when I show the Super Nintendo games we got in the next video. But anyway, so after we picked up all this, we drove back into our town, and it was around noontime, so we're like, alright, let's stop back at that house that had the DS Lite, see if they dug out all the games and stuff. So we got there, and the lady comes out, and she had the black DS here, as she had already showed me earlier in the day. She had it in this pink carrying case here, and it's in pretty good condition. The touch screen's a little scratched, but I think it has a protector on it anyway, so at least the actual screen's not scratched. And she showed me that it worked and everything, so grabbed that. Pretty excited to see that she actually had the original box for it here. And inside the box is the manuals, and then there's just some random plastic game cases, so I'm not going to take those out. But she also had this 3-in-1 stylus for Nintendo DS and DSi. These like pink unnecessary styluses that someone paid $5 for at one point. But the biggest buzzkill of it all was she showed me these. She had the stack of games here, but she told me that not only could she not find the charger for the DS, she didn't know where most of the games were that go in the cases. And she was like, you know, I'm still looking for them. You know, I know they're all bundled together somewhere. Give me your number, and as soon as I find them, I'll just give you a call, and you can just come pick them up. And, you know, like I just previously said earlier in the video, when someone says, you know, give me your number, I'll call you, never bet or bank on them calling you, because it rarely happens. And I honestly probably shouldn't have bought this lot for $50, because I knew in the back of my mind that, you know, I wasn't going to get the games or the charger with it. But I don't know. I went up and I paid the $50 for it. I don't think it was a terrible deal. I'll show you the games we did get anyway. Here's the case for like Peggle Dual Shot, which I think is like a pinball game. But in the case is actually Super Mario 64 DS, the game, which I guess is okay. I mean, I'd honestly rather have this game loose cart than this actual game complete. So that one wasn't too bad. And we also got Personal Trainer Cooking, which this is another one the game was actually in. That one's complete. But I believe the rest of these are just cases and manuals, which is very unfortunate, especially for a game like Kirby Superstar Ultra. Really wish this would have had the game in it. Same with Grand Theft Auto Chinatown Wars. And Mystery Case Files Million Hair. And this looks like a really weird game. Zenz's Rainforest, which is like a pill or something on the front of life. I don't know. But again, those last four are just the cases in the manual, no games. And like I said, no charger. I asked her, I was like, you know, can I give you $40 for everything right now, and then I'll give you the other $10 when you find the other stuff? And she was like, well, you know, I really wanted $75 for it originally, so I mean, you're getting a deal at $50, and I was just like, ugh. So reluctantly, I took it for $50. Thinking back on it, I probably shouldn't have done it, because, you know, she hasn't called me about the charger of the games. I really doubt she will. I could obviously just go like knock on her door and be like, you know, where are my games? But is it really worth it? Probably not. So $50. Again, not a terrible deal, just not a great deal. But anyway, I believe that's all we found on Friday, other than the Super Nintendo games that Dave's mom found for us. And again, I'm gonna do that video probably right after this one actually, and it will be the next video after this that we upload. So definitely keep an eye out for that. I'm telling you, you don't want to miss this. Absolutely amazing, amazing haul. One that we will probably not top for a very, very long time. So definitely keep an eye out for that. I want to thank you guys for sticking around and checking out this video, and until next time, take care.